Just quickly, so hopefully you'll all persevere through this first semester and you'll develop some kind of love for your ancient language or languages. And the best way to keep it going is to really extend yourself in various ways. And it's basically come back to that principle of the more you put in, the more you get out. The more practice you have with the language, the more exposure, the better you're going to be at it. So it is really down to that principle. So you can go to things like Korean Ancient Languages School in the winter between this semester and next semester. They have hieroglyphics, they have Greek, they have Coptic sometimes, I think. And they sometimes run some little Latin things, but it's not as... Latin is for Sydney University, and I've been to that one over the summer. And once you finish Latin B, it's a great thing to consider and go to because it will really extend you and build you up for the next year. And you can do wider reading in like the bilingual texts of the Learn Classical Library, which are those red texts that you see, and you'll use them for your first year essays in Republic in Rome with Tom Hillard and Lee Beness. So they're a good way of just, you can get some exposure over the holidays and try reading a few pages out of that. But I would consult your lecturer as well to see what's a good text for you to look at that isn't beyond your ability and will actually encourage you rather than discourage you in your first year of study.
Can I also add, with the language school, especially if you know you're going to start a new language the following year, in the summer break, you can study that language at the summer school and have all your brain implosions and all your freakouts about the grammar before you actually start the semester. So you already have learnt some of the ancient scripts, some of the basic grammatical concepts before you're even starting the course and before you've even been assessed. So it's a really good way also to build up your own confidence about the script and the language.
So finally, I'd just like to say why you should actually hang in there. Like we've talked about how you can overcome these challenges and what we've done to overcome them. But why do you actually need an ancient language, and why should you persevere? Why not just give up now and do all normal ancient history units without any language? You can be just a complete essay right now. Well, the reason is ancient history units without language will only get you so far. I assume that most of you here are either wanting to go further with ancient history into postgraduate studies, or you're not sure yet. Many of you are postgrads already and have obviously recognised the value of ancient languages. But the fact is, you need an ancient language to access the ancient texts, which are, in many aspects of ancient history, the foundation of what you're studying and the foundation of our knowledge of the ancient world. Unless you're going for a completely archaeological art history approach, you need the language to unlock that side of the ancient world. And when you're writing your essays, there will be so much more clout to them because you're able to analyse the language and create arguments where you're talking analytically about how a certain author is using a certain language and how that tells us about a certain culture and the way that they spoke or the way that they viewed and perceived the world in their time and the politics and the social connections of that period. So that's why I stress it, because I know a lot of lecturers, even some of the lecturers here, regret the fact that they didn't do languages as an undergraduate. They regret it deeply because they had to spend half their time during their PhD doing Latin and Greek or whatever language they had to do to get them to that point where they could actually make their research relevant and actually acceptable to international scholarly communities. And then I know some of you here will probably be wanting to be school teachers and are doing the language as well, maybe. And the fact is, that's another added asset to your CV and your repertoire of teaching that a lot of other graduates don't have, and it can get you jobs at schools that you never thought you'd get a job at, or because not many schools teach Latin and Greek, but the schools that do are often quite good schools. So, but at the same time, it's expanding out into other schools, and it would be great to see more Latin and Greek teachers going out to other schools too, and not just keeping it an elitist pursuit. Okay, so basically, we're just going to open up the floor to some questions from you, because obviously you've come here and you're struggling with things, and or maybe you're not struggling with things, but just intrigued. But we'd love to hear from you any questions about study skills, resources, things that you are not understanding, and if you have any really specific questions or questions you don't forget it, you forget here, and they strike you, once you're 100 metres out the door, you can email them to telesangels@gmail.com.
Thanks for coming to